yeah, what is agile coaching, and why do you think that we need agile coaches in the company? Maybe there's a lot of persons over here, CEOs, well, I don't think CEOs, but probably some important management guys that do not promote agile, or they don't believe that they need agile coaches in their company. Why would you think that we need them?
That's probably one of the most important, let's say, areas of how modern companies can actually leverage these kind of roles. Do you know where coaching is coming from, regardless of the word agile? It's basically coming from sport. Okay, and the presence of a coach made a difference because teams who had a coach, and the first team who ever had a coach, became immediately the highest performing in the whole group of teams that were competing together. So everyone started having a coach. Okay, so what coaching really is in the end is actually having someone who's spending all of his energies into observing you and giving you unbiased, possibly, feedback and structure so that you can maximize your potential. And this is something that didn't used to be something that was present in companies, in traditional companies, like the ones using the traditional command and control approach or hierarchical structures coming from General Motors and things like that, that actually are still probably the most used today, including MBOs and these kind of incentives into building performance, which has been demonstrated several times is actually not the most effective way. So the thing is that in traditional organization, what you have is that leadership is rarely about leading, is more about controlling, and it's
Mhm.
more about setting direction and goals, which can be fine, can work, but as its own limits. Also, because usually what happens is that you have leaders who have responsibility of the result, of the people, and of the process. Okay, again, let me make a parallel with Scrum, and then let me get on why coaching is important. Uh,
Mhm.
in Scrum, you have three roles. You have the product owner, you have the developers, and you have the Scrum Master. What they are doing, they are separating the responsibilities. So basically, the product owner is creating the purpose, is creating a sense of relatedness about what you have to do, and is making this real for people to actually apply their skills. He's not the most expert, because expertise, the mastery, is on the developers, which is a team who is able to transform that vision into reality, and they are self-organized. And then there is the Scrum Master, who's actually working on the process and is also making sure people understand what are their roles, and it's actually coaching them into the role. Okay, why is this important? Because if you think about the complexity of an organization, of a team, every variable can actually bring people into a fearful place, where they are afraid about facing someone specifically or to face a certain situation. Or even people may be having fear of success. Okay, so they may be fearful of actually expressing their whole potential. So the role of Scrum Masters, or in the role of coaching, as well as in managers, because you don't need a framework where there is an explicit coach, but the role of coaching in general is to have someone who has the ability and the skills to observe and give feedback and foster the potential. So basically, spot when someone is, for example, feeling fear about a performance, and pulling them out of that fear and getting back on track. When it comes to agile coaching, what is this about? It's basically the fact that you don't have to be an expert of the team that is doing something of their work. You have to be an expert of the techniques to enable their knowledge to achieve the result. And coaching is exactly that. So, like, imagine you have a bunch of very skillful software engineers who have to develop an app, and they are going to be planning something. And they suddenly have no one telling them what to do. They have a product owner saying, "This is the backlog. You are self organized." And so they start panicking because they are very experienced in writing code, but they don't know what to do. They may not even know how to talk with a product owner, how to have a productive conversation. Then coaching in that case, from an agile coach or from a scrum master, would be basically challenging them into understanding what would happen. Like the example I did before. If I have a team that is stuck in saying, what should we do? I can just ask them something like, okay, how does the system look like after this sprint? Okay. And this would be a coaching question. So coaching moments. Okay. And yeah, I think the role of agile coaches is very important for one main reason, which is letting CEOs and management and companies understand not the role itself, but the importance of coaching as leaders of people.
Got it. Thank you. Thanks for sharing.